3,
That's Fight
2,
Club still.
1.
Untap.
Welcome back to MTGYou, the Magic the Gathering podcast for you. I'm James.
I need to scroll up. And I'm Blaze.
Where is my mind? I'm Rich.
It must be those angles. Put a smile on my face. Or maybe it's the hypotenuse. My triangle. I'm Damon. Sorry, guys. Lots of Sesame Street this week. Been hanging out with
So
kids.
is it B flat 180 degrees?
All right, we're moving right along.
It's Thursday, the 26th of June, 2014. We're coming to you live from Studio U. Thanks for joining us. This is episode 40.
Upkeep.
I haven't got used to that part yet. So, in the news, what is happening?
We've been dealing with a whole bunch of M15 spoilers recently.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning, bam, more spoilers. Dealing with a lot of problems, guys. Sorry, he said dealing with it. Just struck me as funny. That's all.
Yeah.
But yeah, sweet spoilers.
It's
Yeah,
spoiler
so-
season. Our favorite 4 times a year thingy or something. Actually, more than that with all the other things.
I'll say it again. I've said it before. Being a Magic player is like getting to celebrate Christmas 4 times a year because
And then some, because we have conspiracy and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Right now, the summer is a little bit overfilled with the spoilers, but this core set is looking really good thus far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Leave it to Blades to have something negative to say about about. I can't. I don't like.
He's getting
so
a
many
new
spoilers.
Jace. He has no right to be able to complain.
I
He
don't know
getting a
what
new
it is
Jace.
yet, though.
It's going to say -3 ability, like draw a card.
It's gonna say +1 win the game.
No, say +1 lose the game because I don't know. But anyway, like, so what's this story with the Garruk Planeswalker mini game?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So with your pre-release pack, you also get this large card that
an
is
oversized
a
card,
oversized card of a Garruk Planeswalker.
No way.
No mana cost. Apparently, he's like a mini game that you can play with your pre-release deck, like in between matches.
Yeah,
Wow.
he has like 20 loyalty. He has like a plus what is it? 0 ability.
He starts
to put
out on
a
0 to
2/2
put a
wolf
2/2
into
wolf,
play.
a +4 ability to give target creature +1/+0 and Death Touch until end of turn.
Give all of your wolves. I think it's +1/+0.
I thought it was just
It
one.
might be just one. And then it has like a minus ability of I forget. I kind of want to go
It's
pull
like
it up now.
it's like -10 to do something really
to
sweeping.
destroy target creature, and then you get loyalty counters back. You'll do its toughness.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what it
And
was.
it has an ultimate that's like
Minus 25
So,
to destroy all
did anyone-
opponents' creatures.
yeah.
Did anyone notice the irony? It's a big Jace, or it's a big Garruk, and it's hunt bigger game. See
Yeah.
that? See what they're doing there? See what they're
Yeah.
doing there?
You know, also I feel like we call the players of Magic planeswalkers, and yet we have these cards that are planeswalkers, and I think being able to actually just pilot a planeswalker and see, oh, these are his spells and my library are my spells, will really like tie that together of how we're planeswalkers and they're planeswalkers, and sort of thematically how it all fits together. So
Yeah, this. Unfortunately, I don't think this is how they're gonna pull it, but this gives Wizards an out to where, oh, we give you this Garruk. Now we don't have to print a new Garruk
No,
for you.
they're
as the
printing a
sixth-
new one.
Oh, no,
they've already released it.
for sure.
They haven't released like what the abilities are, but they've released the card. They're coming out with the new Garruk. It's
And
gold.
he's probably he's green black, right?
Yeah. He's
Both
green black.
shows.
They've like, released the artwork for him and the boxes, just like they have with the Johnny and Jason.
Right,
and
the
stuff.
empty boxes.
Yeah, but they haven't released the new Garruk.
Have they released the converted mana cost?
I think it's like 5. I don't know though. I haven't looked. I know like Chris from Main Phase MTG. I want to thank you. You've posted a lot of things this week about the spoilers and stuff, and it's helped me keep in line and check. Go check out his feed. He's got a lot of those spoilers on there. But yeah, they've released the Garruk. The new Jace is 1 blue, 3 colorless. The new Johnny is 3 colorless and 1 white. Chandra, we're getting Chandra Pyromaster again.
Which honestly, like, I don't have one,
She's-
so I'm kind of stoked that
I
she's
know
getting
the
reprinted.
price has gone down a little bit on
Yeah.
her because of it, but it's good because then you can complete
And she's
a
been the
playset
best.
or whatever.
She's been the best
Yeah.
Chandra thus far.
a
So
while.
why stray away and
Yeah.
get something?
Don't mess
less
it up
playable?
if it ain't broke, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like we've got a new Nissa, which Blades is going to talk about here in a minute.
Oh yeah.
But the interesting thing is, like the new Johnny's actually got Elspeth's old cloak, because when
Right.
Elspeth died in Journey to Nyx, he picked up the cloak, and I guess he does something to do with loyalty counters with other planeswalkers and +1/+1 counters.
What?
Yes,
what I've
his
heard.
-2 ability, his +1 ability is put a +1/+1 counter on up to one creature.
Okay.
His -2 ability, put a +1/+1 counter on each of your creatures, and a 1 loyalty on each other planeswalker.
What?
So he's mentoring everybody.
'Cause
I
he's-
know that's just insane.
Yeah, pretty freaking sweet, right?
Huh.
That feels so wonderful, so flavorful. I love it.
I
cool.
love the like M15. Also, they're doing so much cool stuff. Like there's like a Defender theme going on. Like they bring it back like a new Titan type thing with the avatars.
Or the souls, right?
I'm
The
actually
souls.
pretty the
Right.
souls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Soul
sorry.
of
They're-
random
They are
plane.
avatar creatures.
Right.
Sorry.
Yes. Yeah. For sure.
The soul guys are pretty freaking house. Like this is pretty exciting core set. I haven't been excited for a core set in a while.
Honestly, it's silly.
Oh, yeah.
I love playing in the graveyard, so I'm just excited that they have a reason. It feels sort of like creature flashback to me. You know, all their cool abilities.
I kind of want to test out the new pod guy.
Does your wife know you like playing in the graveyard?
Huh. Anyways, so you know what's silly is I am actually really excited because they're going to be sending every local gaming store a big cardboard cutout of Garruk with a big old axe.
Like 8 feet tall.
Yeah, like he's supposed to be like just as massive Garruk. You know,
that's
it'll be
awesome.
somebody big enough to make me look small, which is sweet. But anyways, I guess you're supposed to like take a picture afterwards when you battle somebody else's giant Garruk card, and you're supposed to pose in a way that like sort of signifies how the game went. You know,
Oh.
like you could like
So
be like
basically,
puffing
for-
out your chest and being like.
Basically, for me, it's gonna have Grook stepping on me.
Yeah.
Right. Well, he's got his axe, so you could like have your head like hanging out underneath his axe. Like it's cool. You can chop my head off, bro. Or like,
Yeah, that sounds
or
fun.
you like just be like button
Yeah,
chest
and
with him, like what's
they're
up?
encouraging
Come at
you
me, bro.
to send the pictures into them
Yeah,
too. So they can put
tweet
on
it
their
out. So
site.
I just
Nice.
my ugly mug is definitely going to end up out on the Twitterverse hanging out with Garruk.
That sounds fun. There's one other. There's a sort of a downside to the nation.
Yes.
I guess they have a definite date on when the new Moto client or when the old Moto
Oh,
client
right.
is dying.
I actually saw. I forget who it was. They tweeted out, but they're like, "So I've streamed twice in a row with the new client, and I've had half of my normal viewers twice in a row. Coincidence? I think not." Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of getting used to. Speaking of getting used to stuff, like I'm glad that the website mostly works now, like Daily MTG. Mostly
Takes some getting used to.
I was actually
But on my phone, there's still like feels like a lot of broken links.
I was actually just looking for the conspiracy spoiler, and I couldn't find it. I was searching for it for like 15 minutes, and I'm just done with it.
Well, so here's the thing. Like they've been
Do you want me to tell you where to find it?
Yeah, shoot me a link.
Google. just use Google.
They've been
Actually, that's part of the problem is because a lot of the Google links are in there are dead because, well, I mean, you'll get to the old ones.
So the thing is, like, they're actually trying to like reboot the whole like system right now. They're doing Moto, they're doing the website. Like, they're really kind of just doing a makeover basically of everything right now. It seems like. So I mean, coming of a new age in the online Magic community, it's kind of exciting to see it happen.
So,
you
so
know. We were complaining about it, but I mean, really, like when everything gets worked out, it should be great, right?
right. So here's how to get to it. You go to Game Info.
mtgsalvation.com/conspiracy. Just kidding.
See,
Oh my
that
gosh.
doesn't have the pictures though, and I need my pictures.
Now, let's see, and then go to. See, I'm in a different browser than I normally am, so it has me all weirdo. All right, we're moving on. I'll shoot you a
But
link
where
in
the
a second.
Wampus is asking for an RSS link.
For our website?
No, for speaking of the new website, you don't have a working RSS.
The new
link.
site broke. Oh yeah, no, I know it broke the RSS link.
Oh, geez.
I don't actually.
don't know.
No, that's a good question because they don't have a new one up yet. and I use it too, and I haven't been able to find a new
For
one
like
yet.
your news feed reader or whatever.
So it's just stuck on the old stuff. So we will have to see if we can find another one. To my knowledge, there isn't another one out there yet.
They're still working out the bugs, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. So is there any other news, guys? Are we going to move on to our draw step?
There's a lot of news. I'm sure we'll be hitting some episodes of it soon. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me go ahead and go right here.
Draw step.
That was a little delayed. And normally this is where we'd have a Clique You.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And today we're going to be doing cardboardcrack.com
That's right.
for our Clique You.
Yeah.
Rich, tell us a little bit about Cardboard Crack.
So the cool thing is, I don't know if you guys, I've been following them on Twitter for a while now, and they actually do a lot of really cool like comic type, comics of like daily life as a Magic player. I mean, like there was kind of one of those things like it shows this guy with a toaster, and he's like, I'm going to end it, man. I'm going to end it. I'll hit the pinnacle of my life. And the guy's like, no, don't do it. And he's like, well, I just hit the pinnacle of my life yesterday, And it's like yesterday. And it shows him talking to this girl. She's like, yeah, so I think when we're going to play Magic, we should play Strip Magic. So they have like a lot of these really cool, like, basically like funny little memes about Magic the Gathering. Like this guy at a Grand Prix, like he's like, I know what I'm gonna do to help the Magic community. He's handing out deodorant at a Grand Prix. Like they have a lot of really cool comics, and they're just really funny. And they try to like portray, I guess, the average life of a Magic player, and it's really
quite
funny.
accurate.
You should check it out. Yeah,
Huh.
it's just cardboardcrack.com, I believe.
Oh, yep.
And you can follow them on Twitter at cardboardcrack.com.
I believe the same for Facebook.
And we'll have the links in the show notes, of
Yeah,
course, for you
I'm
in podcast land.
Finding it right now.
And I just gave you a link there.
they're really sweet. Just makes
I've
me
started
laugh.
since you mentioned them. I've started following them as well. So that's a good Clique You. Now Now it's time for our draw step, and I'm up first. Oh, do you know what I forgot? I don't have. Where do I have it? We'll get there.
Lightning bolt.
Hey, you just gave it away.
Oh, sorry, it's cardboard crack with a hyphen in the middle of it .com.
Wait, between the card, the
Yeah,
board,
I'm gonna add
or
it
the
right
crack?
now on the Twitch feed. So it's cardboard-crack.com.
Sweet. Yeah,
I
go ahead
knew
and
it
post
was-
the link.
I usually just do the thing from Twitter, so. Yeah, and they're also on Facebook too, so go check them out on Facebook as well.
Yep.
And on Twitter.
And Google Plus, probably.
And Facebook.
And
Tumblr,
and
maybe.
here goes.
IRL.
Lightning Bolt. Costs 1 red for a common
Oh,
instant.
I even have the wrong one
Ability
up
text.
there. Darn it.
Lightning Bolt deals 3 damage to target creature or player.
You're probably wondering why I have never done Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, that's kind of.
It's kind of like
mystifying.
it's kind of my. I mean, if there was one card that I would pick, it's pretty much it. 1 mana, 3 damage.
It doesn't get much better than
It
that.
doesn't. That's it.
It really doesn't.
So, I'm surprised I've never highlighted this card before. Enough said.
You're just always on my tail feathers. Where last week I had Path to Exile, this week you're using the red Path to Exile.
Yeah, there. I'm always just riding your coattails.
That you are.
I guess next week I'll have to do Disfigure. 1 black. Creature gets -2/-2. Also not as
I'm just going to stick with good cards.
good. Oh.
All right, whatever. Okay, so let's move along, and we have this is
What happened to not doing a red card?
Rich.
maybe I'll do one not a
don't
red
believe
card
you.
next time.
Tell you
All right, Rich, you're up with
Soul of New Phyrexia. Costs 6 colorless for a 6/6 mythic rare artifact creature avatar. Ability text, Trample. Pay 5 colorless. Permanents you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Pay 5 colorless. Exile Soul of New Phyrexia from your graveyard. Permanents you control gain indestructible until end of turn.
So when I first started playing Magic, I loved the Titans. Oh my gosh, just having the ability to be able to cast a huge 6/6 body for 6 mana to kind of like be the finisher for games. I loved it personally. A lot of people hated it. I just loved having kind of like an end game goal. And this Soul of New Phyrexia reminds me a lot when I started playing too, because it was I started playing right around the friction block.
Like Scars, right?
Right. So And the artwork is just awesome. Darkin did a really good job with it. But the huge thing is 6/6 Trampler for 6. And you could just, like, next turn, if they don't deal with it that turn, you untap, and then you just ride this guy to victory. Because you're like, pay 5, all my guys are indestructible. Pay 5, all my guys are indestructible. You just, so powerful.
This is a guy to where you actually can afford to tap out every turn after that, just into himself, just to gain the value out of him. Because he's putting so much pressure on your opponent.
Yeah, and the fact that he makes all permanents you control indestructible, not just him and creatures.
So everything you play before him, leading up to him.
Yeah, lands, enchantments, planeswalkers, like, just the power level. I mean, and even if they do just so happen to kill it, now you can exile them in your graveyard and you get it one more time. Like, all of the soul guys give so much value out of the bin. It's just powerful, and I'm excited.
How do you play removal, like, if somebody has 5 mana up with this guy?
You don't.
Right?
Unless it's exiling type effects.
You need 2 pieces of removal.
Don't.
Yeah, you just like that to
one
me
to
seems
bait
like
him,
the
one
nightmare.
to in response.
I feel like this could definitely be a finisher.
Well, and the fact that it's colorless, like, it's gonna be
Right?
so
No.
many
I
decks.
just I feel like this is where control wants to finish.
And
Anyways.
standard.
I'm not sure about control yet, but it's definitely a possibility.
Wait, you're thinking about it in a control list?
Yeah, kind of like a the one that had
I don't know.
Sun Titan in it.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll
Tap
see.
out control.
Maybe.
I can see probably more devotion.
Okay, so 9 mana, wrath the board. All my guys are indestructible.
Okay, if we get a wrath, because right now, like, all of the wraths are getting cycled out.
Oh, that's true.
Unless there's 7 or more.
As far as we know of right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because anyway, I'm excited. Artwork's freaking sweet. I just love friction artwork because it's mean, nasty, ugly guys. They're cool. So
Yeah, leading into these souls, I feel like Nykthos, Shrine into Nyx, is probably going to gain in value. Also, back to the artwork on this guy. Elish Norn was fine and good. This is like a hulked out Elish Norn. I love the artwork on this. This is my favorite artwork from M15 thus far.
Wow, that's
By
that's
far.
a statement.
Wow.
I feel like there's
that
a
is a
lot of the
statement.
art that's really good. So
There are.
All right, and next we have Blades with
Nissa, World Waker. Costs 3 colorless and 2 green for a 3 loyalty mythic rare planeswalker, Nissa. +1 ability, target land you control becomes a 4/4 elemental creature with trample. It's still a land. +1 ability, untap up to 4 target forests. -7 ability, search your library for any number of basic land cards. Put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Those lands become 4/4 elemental creatures with trample. They're still lands.
So I've always liked Nissa. The old Nissa was, I felt was pretty good. She didn't get as much love as I thought she deserved. But before I was a control player, I was most definitely an Elves player. And still deep down inside, I am still an Elves player. I would still play him if there was a deck playable out there. But with her +1 ability, it protects her. So if you really need to, getting a 4/4 elemental out of your 6th mana drop, that's fine. Her other +1 though, untap up to 4 target force, which means that Nissa is almost free.
yeah,
She seems pretty good. Like, even if you play her, untap 4 force, and then play into like a Pelucranos or something, or just 2 more devotion guys,
or just untap your elementals, right? Because they're forests.
or just untap your elementals if you're playing multiple Nissas.
Pseudo vigilance, basically, right?
Yeah, she seems pretty good, especially if you remember Travis Wu's old modern deck for Genesis Wave,
With
where he
Garruk.
just piled all the enchantments onto the
one
lands.
Yeah, oh
where
my
he'd
gosh.
get Garruk in there as well. I feel like she resembles Garruk quite a bit, and Garruk was never bad.
She feels way more green, and there's a lot of Zendikar stuff that's popping up, by the way. This is kind of crazy.
It
So
really is.
interestingly,
So
fall of
did you go over the
2015.
-7 ability?
Oh no, I haven't yet.
Do that real quick.
Okay.
Search your library for any number of basic land cards and put them into play. They're 4/4 guys. Pretty much you just search for an army and free. From then on, you're not drawing any more lands in case your opponent finds some way to deal with your army of 4/4 guys. So you're drawing nothing but gas after that.
Yeah, and she's wanting to see play in mostly a mono-colored green deck because she
I
deals
would
with
think so.
forests and basics. So What were you gonna say, Damon?
Oh, just gonna remind everybody that fall of 2015 is 7 years from the time that we went to World Wake Zendikar the first time.
Has it really been that long?
Yeah, so like 7 was the magic number for Return to Ravnica. Just saying, MTGYou.
The speculation.
Where we are
Where
home to
we're
the wild
usually wrong.
speculation.
But also touching on the Zendikar thing, if you notice, like each of these souls are sort of matching planes with
Right.
the planeswalker that is showing up in the set.
Yeah.
Ravnica, Jace, Innistrad, Liliana, Theros, vaguely Ajani, but it's still there.
He hung out there.
Yeah, he hung out there.
Yeah.
Like
Black
Elspeth
was-
was the big one there, but now that she can no longer.
which is Liliana. Yep.
Yep. So I feel like that's where they're sort of getting their feeling from a little.
Then because of the Karn liberated a little bit. But okay, so going back to Nissa though, real quick, I think she's terrible.
All right. Yep.
Like, it's funny that the blue mage out of our podcast group is pro Nissa, and I'm like anti Nissa.
Yeah.
But, like, okay, I understand your point. Like, it's the untapping, right? And the things
that's
that
the
make
big
your
part
guys,
that gets me.
Like, I think she's really good, but I think that like she's so like narrow, right?
She's fairly narrow.
Definitely-
Most of your green decks want to be more bigger than what she's wanting to go.
Right. I think she'll be a good limited bomb. EDH, definitely. I could see her playing some EDH, but I don't feel like she's going to see much standard play.
Right now, we don't have too many decks for her. I think that the winning deck list from this one is Jerry T's mono green list that he's recently been playing. I feel like that list wants a lot of Nissa.
Yeah, like I played like Legion of the Tangle back in the day because you can animate your guys in 8/8 elementals. I just remember like you're like, oh, make my guys things, and then the blue-white player's like, ha ha, Wrath, and you're like, no, my lands are now dead. It just seems like it's kind of one of those trades
Which
that
coming
you have
into
to
this
play
core
off.
set could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, depending on what Wrath effect and where it's placed.
She'll play very well with Courser though, for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
So anything else on that?
No, we covered it pretty good.
Let's move along. Let me just get to it here and go.
Simeon's Spirit Guide. Costs 2 colorless and 1 red for a 2/2 common creature, Ape Spirit. Ability text: exile Simeon's Spirit Guide from your hand. Add 1 red mana to your mana pool.
I don't know what else you want from this guy. He's an ape spirit. That's pretty sweet. He's a 2/2 for 3 mana. Also pretty sweet. But the big thing is that you can just discard him from your hand, or exile him from your hand, to add mana to your mana pool. And that is actually can be a very powerful effect. You're essentially trading card advantage for acceleration. And I will be giving him a go in my Living End deck today after our podcast is over. So,
That's right.
anyways, for those of you who are audio-only podcast land, come check out our video content. But for you guys who are on stream right now, stick around afterwards. We'll be playing Affinity, right?
Yeah, I'll be on Affinity tonight.
Affinity versus Living End. So I'm kind of terrified of that matchup, but I'm hoping Simeon Spirit Guide pushes my tempo fast enough that I can just wrath your board and kill you. So, anyways, Simeon Spirit Guide. That's where I'm at tonight.
Right.
he sees
on.
playing Legacy too.
He does.
Yep. So
and in Ad Nauseam Modern,
That is a deck I really want to try one day.
we should try it. Yeah.
I have no idea how to
What are
play
you
it.
giggling about, James?
I don't know what I'm giggling about.
Hey man, it's a light mood. I'm all about laughing or giggling.
I wish I knew.
We need some flowers in
I
a
really-
field.
I really don't know. A flower, a field in a
A
flower.
field. We need a field of flowers.
feeling in flowers and
So let's move along.
okay.
Now it's time for our main phase.
Main phase.
The guy's always repeating me. I mean, what's with that? Okay.
I don't push the buttons around here, okay?
You push my buttons.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow, stuff got serious
You
here.
guys are like, everybody's like,
in Studio U.
Yeah, I know.
We're about to break down into Fight Club again.
No, that's afterwards. Coming up
hey,
at 9.
first rule: tell your friends about Fight Club.
That's the first rule of Fight Club. Tell everybody about it. So today we're talking about. I know this sounds really weird that we're talking about conspiracy now when it's been out for how long?
Almost a
3
month
weeks
now, right? Three
yeah.
weeks.
Yeah.
I think we're on 3 weeks.
It's not a set we really reviewed for a set club or anything like that. It's going to be around for a little while. I understand that Wizards will reprint it currently until demand runs out, so it's not
Right.
like it's immediately going away. But I don't know, where do you guys want to start with this? Because I think Damon, you have a specific plan for what you how you want to address this.
Well, so I've been hearing some things about conspiracy, and I think that a lot of the things I've been hearing kind of can be summed up in the one story of, you know, a newer player walks into a store, and the older player, the longtime player, is like, hey, so conspiracy pretty sweet, and the new player is just like, oh, that set's for you, M15 is for me.
Yeah.
And so I feel like maybe conspiracy, it's strange that a lot of the people who are have been long time and more serious Magic players consider themselves kind of spiky. I keep seeing on Twitter and stuff are just raving about how hilariously fun they think conspiracy is. And the folks who are the kitchen table guys, you know, the weekend warriors, the folks who just play Magic strictly for the fun, seem to be in a lot of ways missing out on this very fun, strictly for
Absolutely,
fun
and
format.
that could be no further from the truth.
And so I feel like I just feel like there's this this misunderstanding. It's a poor misunderstood set, and it's really good. So I don't know. I feel bad for people who haven't tried it yet, who like fun and Magic and also breathing. Like this is a set for people who like.
Do you like breathing?
Do you like breathing and Magic
Conspiracy is
and
for
fun?
you.
Because it's probably for you. Like it's really hard to not have fun with this. Set,
That's
so.
pretty much it. A lot of it though is I hear that it's who you play with.
Absolutely.
What kind of style players you choose to associate with when you're playing this. Because you got people who are just spiky and just always trying to win everything. And a lot of times that could be no fun. This is a casual format type of a game. And it's meant to be taken so. Like to where you just gather 4 friends around the table and you joke around as you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's meant to be like a funsy, casual hangout play. Like the one thing I kind of dislike about it, at least when they do price support at like the local shops, is it makes it so much more competitive. And
Right.
instead of like having fun and be like, oh, I killed all your creatures, I was the first one to die, but haha, screw you guys. Instead, it's like, oh, like, you know, I caused all the hate and I lost out, so I don't get prizes. Like I liked it a lot more when it's more like
just
a
prize-free?
funsy, like have fun,
Yeah,
hangout
yeah.
environment. But
Yeah, so Wizards didn't really come up with a prize structure for this,
Right,
I
well,
don't
that's-
think.
that's
That's
the LGS.
community driven.
And the thing is, like, I think as a store owner or whatever, you want to have a way to reward people for coming in and playing in your
Right.
shop. And, like, people pay usually into the prize pool somehow. So you want to give away packs. But figuring out that puzzle, I think, is going to be one of the things to help, I don't know, people play it more often. But I also think there's just a lot of fun probably just around your own kitchen table at your house. So,
Absolutely. Like for a winning consolation prize, I'm down with the high fives. Those of you who know me know that I'm down with the high fives. I cannot get enough of the high fives. High five guy.
So I bought a box today, and we are going to take sometime to draft it as the 4 of us. I don't even know if we're going to actually stream it. I'm just saying.
We just might
It's
talk
just
about
it's
it.
just for
Have
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
oh, that would be cool. To,
It's a little bit
stream it.
harder to stream a draft.
Yeah. So
Well,
Although we
yeah,
could take
yeah,
our
but we
handy
could just
hand
play
cam
it
and just follow one of our intrepid heroes
maybe.
as everybody else trash talks the one
per
person.
booster or something. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, anyways.
what's next?
So here's the thing. Let's just really, really quickly, for people who are like, conspiracy, I do not know this thing. What thought of conspiracy?
What is this thing of which you speak?
In Mother Russia, conspiracy draft you.
So anyways, really quickly, you draft. We've explained what draft is a lot of times. You're picking a card out of a booster pack and passing the things you didn't pick. That's very simple. Conspiracy actually works with as few as like 4 or 5 people. I mean, obviously, sort of the purest experience is going to be with like around 8 people.
Right, just like any draft, you start to see
Right, there's a lot of
patterns,
weird
stuff
things
coming
will.
around more than once, and it's.
But hey,
not
if you want to
as good.
spice up the pool, draft 4 packs. Ha ha! You could do it. Maybe it'd be too powerful. I don't know.
That sounds terrible. An hour and a half to draft. Okay.
No, dude, it's
Just
whatever.
proceed.
Anyways, okay. So there are in the set these draft matters cards. Most of them say when you draft this thingy, you draft it face up and show everybody at the table, and do a thing. You know, Cogwork Librarian is probably one of the more famous guys because
Yeah.
you draft him face up, and then at any point, if you see 2 cards in one booster pack that you want, you trade Cogwork Librarian for 2 cards out of that booster pack, and somebody else can do it later.
And I used that one. That was actually probably one of the only conspiracies I actually used when I drafted. I'm not sure it got me anywhere, but it was an idea. The idea of it appealed to me.
Yeah, I mean, some of them let you peek at the next card that's picked in the pack. Wow, that's a lot of Peter Piper pickled packs. Anyways,
Conspiracy picks.
Anyways, there's some that let you like open another pack in advance. Some of these guys let you open a brand new booster pack and add it to the draft, which is crazy.
And it doesn't have to be a conspiracy
It
one
could be
either.
anything. We had an apocalypse floating around in ours. That was amazing.
Oh,
Personally, I would just go and grab my cube booster. Like make a 15-card cube pack. That'd be ridiculous.
that
Anyways.
seems cheap and effective.
Yes.
Just the way Damon likes it.
And then there's also conspiracies. Now, conspiracies are cool because you start the game with the conspiracies in play. Some of them everybody gets to see at the beginning. Others are hidden, and you name cards in advance. If you have dry erase markers, you can write right on your sleeves. It'll wipe off. Or you can tuck little pieces of paper in your sleeve.
Or just write on the
Or
card.
write it down on the side. Or if you don't care, never going to use it again, write it on the card. Whatever. But you got to have some way of tracking the information beforehand. But what's nice about these conspiracy cards is they're literally, even if you never draw the card that relates to conspiracy, it's fine because it's not wasting space in your deck.
No, well, I have a bit of a quarrel with these conspiracies. I see all over online, all these conspiracy cards are so good. They're
Busted.
always a great thing. So I've only drafted conspiracy ones of times, but I have had not a good experience with these conspiracy cards. Like, they just seem underpowered. I drafted quite a bit of them. I had like 5, and I only used one of them ever through the whole entire gameplay of it, and it wasn't really all that effective.
Gotcha.
What's your experiences on that?
So my last conspiracy draft that I was in, there's a conspiracy called Double Stroke, which allows you to, for free, copy a spell that you cast, an instant or sorcery. And so I had a token theme, and I had Altar's Reap times 3.
Oh,
So I could sack like a spirit token
Draw 2.
and draw 4.
Oh, no, because you double stroked it.
Because I named.
and since the
Altar's
sack
Reap.
is part of the
Wait, don't you have to-
casting cost,
Yeah.
he doesn't have
No,
to
it's the
sack
casting
another
cost,
one.
and you get the effect twice.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
So pay 2 mana, sack a guy, draw 4 cards is like way better than Skull
that
Clap
seems
at that
busted, yeah.
So Deltas in the chat room says, I imagine it's just as fun drafting for new players. I personally haven't drafted it yet, but it looks a little more skill intensive than a regular draft, which might scare them off. Yeah, and it might scare people off, but the way we drafted it, we actually did it in a sort of a fun way where it was an open draft. Right, Damon? I mean, we really...
Yeah, a lot of people, if they were confused or whatever about a card,
just
again,
talked
it's really
about
about setting the tone in advance. Right?
I think so.
Hey, we're
Yeah.
here to have fun. If you have questions, let's ask. It doesn't really affect the gameplay that much if somebody happens to know you have a particular card in your deck.
And I actually thought that was great because it actually gave me some insight into drafting the bigger picture, not just conspiracy, but because I don't draft a lot, so I'm inexperienced, so to speak.
And I know, like, at my shop, when we did our drafts with this, we had guys that were passing me stifles. And I'm like, I could be that guy that could just take the stifle, right? I'm like, I know it's $30. I know it's worth a lot. People are looking for it. But I'm like, I look at them. I'm like, hey, did you want to draft this stifle? And they're like, no, that's a terrible card. I'm like, it's $30.
Right.
Did you want to draft this stifle? I'm going to give you the opportunity to take that back. And they're like, yes, I will take that back. I'm like,
Nice
here
guy
you
Rich
go.
strikes again.
Like,
Speaking
but
of
I'm just like,
stifle, I've been
you should
looking
talk
for a
about-
reason to bring up a card here, so let's see if I
yeah,
can
do
find that.
stifle. That's fine.
These are supposed to be
but
in
set the premise at the
order.
beginning of the draft. Be like, hey, it's fun. We're here to have fun. This is, hang out,
Aren't they in
joke
order?
around, have
Oh,
fun.
wait.
Right.
you
If
know.
people are suggesting prizing, if they're suggesting one-on-one play, these
then,
are the things
then it
you
gets
should
more.
squash. You should be playing.
Yeah, that's
multiple
when you
afterwards.
should probably start to feel, okay, maybe I'm not as comfortable in this format, and maybe I don't want to jump in and just lose this PAX that I know is pretty much inevitable.
Right.
Right.
So, anyways, as much as it seems like it might be skill intensive, I promise it's really not as bad as it may look.
No, because a big part of the
Right.
gameplay is the politics. If you
Right.
have a little bit more of the politics down,
James.
then you can. It doesn't matter what you play
Didn't I hit
terribly.
that?
No.
You can
Oh,
be
it's underneath
playing,
it. Thanks.
You
Keep
can be
going.
playing terribly, and just not attacking anybody.
Right. Well, I mean, if you're in a group and you're just playing bad cards, like people just kind of ignore you theoretically, right? You're just hanging
Normally,
out and
yes.
being part of the
Sometimes
game.
people will kill you because you're there, but for the most part, you'll just be ignored until you're one of the last people start standing, and then you're like, oh, maybe I can do something.
And you know, there was a really excellent example of this. Wizards of the Coast put out a video
Yeah,
of
it's on
8 random
YouTube.
people on YouTube
And I haven't
playing
watched that yet.
Conspiracy.
Yeah.
It's a half an hour. If you were convinced that maybe it might not be for you, please
Just watch that.
Just give the half hour
Or
video
even
a try.
on the fence about
It
Yeah.
made me like so pumped to try Conspiracy
Yeah.
and like really sort of set the tone for how I wanted to go into it. So I really rather enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, we'll try to remember to put a link in the show notes to that. Oh, in fact, you have this link right here in our show notes, so good for
I
you.
sure do.
Right on.
Alrighty, so why would anybody want to draft this? Yeah, like I said, if you love fun and breathing and magic cards, then you should probably enjoy this.
So basically, did we explain like how the draft works? You take 8 people, draft, and you split into 2 pods of 4 people and fight,
Right, or 3 to
or
5
whatever.
people at a
Like
time.
yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
it's really flexible depending on who you have, right? I mean,
Right.
I mean, if you only have 4, I suppose 4 would work.
Okay, so draft matters cards.
We
Is
we are past this. We are already
Oh.
all the things.
New mechanics.
Yeah, so there are a couple of new mechanics. They're all pretty simple. Parlay is just everybody reveals the top card of their library, and if it's land or non-land, you do different things.
And then you draw.
And then you draw those cards. So it's kind of like a legendary creature. Another one of the primary mechanics is dethrone. Marchesa.
So, but the parlay is mostly green-white.
It
and
is.
the dethrone is actually more Grixis. It's red, blue, black.
Yes.
Right. So. You have a
Um,
dethrone guy.
and dethrone. In a lot of group
Nope.
games, people just go, I don't know who to attack. I guess like Blades, you have the highest
Nope.
life total, so I guess I'll attack you because then
Nope.
I don't feel bad about it.
It gives you a reason to attack, and it shortens the game
Let's
when
just do
doing
this.
so.
Right.
That one. Up there.
That's
Go,
that-
go Blades.
And
sorry.
so, like, it makes it feel more fair, and you're being rewarded for the thing that people, if they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, naturally want to do, right? Is just attack the person with the most life.
Yeah.
Um,
A lot of times you feel like you're being ganged up on. I know coming in from EDH, there are some people that they know, hey, this is the big guy in the game store. I'm taking him down first because that'll make me feel better about myself that I can take down this guy with a form of title, as it were.
right. Yeah, that I have definitely been hated out of games because of what I did in the previous game. That always feels really terrible.
Yes.
But it also reminds me to not be a terrible, awful human being when I play EDH. The last one is Will of the Council cards, and it actually asks that the group at the table all vote on one of 2 different outcomes.
What's a sample card from that?
Council's Judgment.
Okay.
Yeah, then that's actually a legacy
That's
playable
legacy
card.
playable, which
Yeah.
is funny because when they're like, "I'll vote that," and they're like, "I'll vote this instead," you're like, "Ha, I'll both."
Well, so what's cool about the Council of the Judgment is the player who casts a spell always has to vote first,
Right.
so you can't trick the other person into like.
Oh.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
you'd be surprised how many people are like.
But yeah, you can totally get 2 for 1s and
if
3 for 1s.
they're tied, that doesn't happen right now. You get both.
Yeah.
Anyway, Will of the Council.
So Will of the
is you
Council,
vote.
yeah, just asks that you vote for things. So pretty simple, basic stuff, and then you just break up into a pot and fight. So there, not only is it like a quirky, crazy draft experience, not only do you get to like have crazy fun with your friends, but a lot of people are concerned because if you open up Conspiracy, like you don't get anything for Standard, which is crappy. The thing is
Yeah.
that in any given card shop, you're likely to have people who like to play older formats, maybe have a couple guys who are into Legacy. You're also very likely to have people who are big into EDH or Cube. And so these cards all have quite a bit of value for these different formats. Well, sorry, not every single card. Like in all Magic sets, not every card is valuable, obviously. But you're bound to open something that is going to be interesting to people. So, like, if you're at all into trading, like, you're going to have trades to get into your Standard deck. With the cards from Conspiracy.
Yeah, and it's hard to find a player who is strictly devoted to Standard.
Here's one that I pulled.
Exploration, classic old school card.
$10.
From Saga. Saga Legacy.
Did I cut
They
you
used to
off?
be 20, but they actually dropped. The original one are still $35 though.
Yeah, so for 1 green, you can play an additional land on each of your turns.
Yep.
Like, that card is super broken. That card seems so good.
Epitome of green.
Yeah.
What were you saying,
Yeah.
Blades?
He said that not everybody plays standard.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, everybody does play standard,
Everybody
but
does.
they always play something else to go with it. Whether it's EDH or they're delving into modern, or they like to draft whatever, or maybe they want to get into one of those other formats. And this is a good jumping off point.
Right, and like maybe you just play standard. Maybe you just like to draft, and so you're like, I have exploration. It's $10. I don't know what to do with it. You could trade it or sell it or whatever. Like, there's lots of really high dollar value stuff in Conspiracy that are going to be applicable to a lot of different people at your LGS or even in the community as a whole. So
Yep.
Council
Yep, yep,
Judgment, $10. There's
I
that
mean,
when we
Stifle's
saw-
$30. Go figure. Right? They
Um,
used to be 60.
the
Scourge
common
Wonders
the
was
common
15.
that we were talking about today.
Brainstorm.
Brainstorm.
If you-
Oh, if you get a foil on these,
So Brainstorm brings us right actually into talking about Legacy playable cards. What's nice is, Legacy has some of the most powerful cards in Magic's history because it allows almost the most cards in Magic's history. Brainstorm is a card. If you play blue in Legacy, you're playing Brainstorm.
Oh, absolutely. If you're not playing it in Legacy, then there's something wrong with your deck.
Yeah, I mean it's so much card selection, and so they've reprinted Brainstorm as a way to get into more of them. But the really cool thing is you have a chance to open a foil. Now, a regular Brainstorm, probably just $1. Foil Brainstorm, you're looking more in the neighborhood of like $50 on Star City Games
At the very least, yeah.
I drafted 2 of them. Got a couple.
2 Brainstorms rocking it.
Yeah.
they're not foil though, so nobody cares.
I care.
The smackdown,
Just
unfortunately.
kidding.
Another classic card is like Swords to Plowshares, and also
Right.
like we were talking about before, Council's Judgment. People are starting to play that
Go
in
to
Legacy.
go to Swords.
Which one? Swords.
Swords to Plowshares.
Oh yeah.
I mean, 1 white, exile that thing. They gain life equal to their toughness, but I mean, who
But they don't have board
cares?
presence anymore, so-
Yeah, it's path to exile without them searching through their deck.
Right.
yeah.
Yep.
And then of course we already mentioned Council's Judgment. A card that I sort of equate it to is maybe like Oblivion Ring that can't be answered, right? Like instead of just hiding that thing, you're getting rid of it for real, and it's in white. And like white doesn't usually directly kill things. White usually just tucks things away in exile or pacifies them or something like that. And so it's a really unique effect for that color, which is I think part of the reason that they're using it. And it hits any permanent type pretty much, right? So anyways, that's very neato, Toledo.
Non-land permanent. You want Council Judgment, right?
Yeah.
Non-land permanent.
Right.
And other legacy cards, I mean, they run exploration in lands, right? But who plays lands except for somebody who has tons and tons of money to spend on lands and the patience to learn that deck? But
Yeah.
it's such a niche, fringe type build. But
That's not the one you're talking about.
No,
Oh,
that
this one?
exploration,
Yeah.
yeah. There's actually a legacy deck that plays pretty much all land, right?
yeah, it's called lands.
Yeah.
It plays glacial chasms and it wins.
It's like 47 lands.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But anyway, so like there's a lot of legacy stuff. But then also there's a lot of different freaking sweet. Oh, and also misdirection. We did forget misdirection.
Oh, right. Misdirection again. We did talk about Stifle, too. So a lot of people are probably wondering, like, why is Stifle? And actually, let's look at Stifle instead right now, James.
Okay.
A lot of people are probably wondering, like, why is Stifle so good? Delver of Secrets is a card I covered last week. It's a 1-drop blue guy that can flip into a 3/2 flyer. You can stifle the trigger that makes it flip.
You can stifle the sack lands.
Yep.
Right, so they can't go find a thing, a new land.
You can stifle
Stoneforge Mystic.
Stoneforge Mystic. Anything with an activated ability and enters the battlefield ability, Restoration Angel, you can stifle that.
You can even stifle Storm. Like when like Tendrils, you can stifle the triggered effect on Storm. It's pretty crazy.
Anyways, so that's why it's a very it's only medium powerful in Conspiracy, but it's like super powerful in a I guess an environment that does as many
In a
powerful things as
Legacy,
Legacy
yeah.
does. So moving right along from Legacy, are we good moving along from Legacy?
Let's go to
Sweet.
EDH.
Something that is near and dear to especially Rich's heart, but also my own heart, all of our hearts. We like EDH. They introduced kind of just a metric crap ton of new sweet.
That is a unit of measure.
It is.
An SI.
It is.
Standard issue.
They gave us all kinds of new stinking sweet legendary creatures that you can build brand new decks around, right? Like, for example, yours truly, I made Brago the deck.
You and Blades were both pretty psyched about this.
Oh
guy.
yeah, I still want to
Yeah.
build Brago myself.
All I want to do is use cool enter the battlefield abilities, and Brago makes things flicker in and out of the battlefield. One more down, James.
One more down. There we go.
So this guy, when he deals combat damage to people, he flickers as many of your own non-land permanents in and out of the battlefield. Did you Oblivion Ring the wrong guy on accident? That's cool. Move it to the right guy. Did you Fiend Hunter the wrong guy on accident? Or Fiend Hunter your own guy so he can save him from the wrath later? Yeah, that's fine. You can do that too.
Especially where O-Ring and pacifism effects,
Yes.
they time to where you play them on the early turns, and then later turns they play
They get
bigger
crappier,
guys.
right?
Go figure.
Yeah, remove like, you have a 6/6. I want to get that 12/12 now instead.
Or like want to make friends with somebody at the table after you've
you
already
can flicker
gotten rid
their
of.
things
You
that
can
enter the
like
battlefield.
you can like take the Oblivion Ring off of their thing and like get the new jerk at the
Yep.
table, right?
Oh,
Like
it's you
there's
control.
so many cool things you can do with Brago, and he just makes me really excited. But we have a bunch of other legends that are neat as well. We mentioned Savala earlier. She has this whole parlay thing that she does all the time, which is really neat, and she ramps herself.
Oh man, I was gonna go to Edric.
I'm sorry.
You totally
Edric,
You can go to Edric.
Edric is another fantastic one. Blue-green, my personal favorite EDH color combo.
drafted him. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And he says whenever a creature you control, like it turns all your creatures into Ophidians, right? Like every one of the creatures you control, if they deal combat damage,
Rich
you draw
Damon
a
just
card.
looked at you. You know that, didn't he? He's like, blue green, my favorite color. And then he was waiting for your
Me to go
reaction.
Like, oh yeah, blue-green.
I am not a blue-green player. Screw that noise. But yeah, he actually sees a lot of play in French. But I mean, yeah, it gives you more access because the only time you could get him before was, I believe, in the Commander
Commander
decks.
deck, yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is another reprint of him. They've also got Grenzo, which I actually think is really
Oh, I know
sweet.
he reanimates, sort of, kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah.
What do you?
Is it?
It's
Is,
almost Grenzo.
You got to look
We
for all
want-
of the gold cards right now.
is it the gold cards?
Gold.
But what are you looking for?
Grenzo,
Grenzo.
but not Grenzo's Cutthroat. The actual
actual-
man himself, and that is
The man, the goblin.
He's red-black.
He's red black. I don't know.
We're gonna-
there. He is.
Okay.
Boomba.
Grenzo
There's-
Dungeon Warden. He has 1 red, 1 black, and X. He comes into play with X +1/+1 counters on him, and you could pay 2 mana to put the bottom card of your library into your graveyard. If it's a creature card with power less than or equal to Grenzo's power, put it onto the battlefield. So actually, if you're playing this, I highly suggest if you do get a Grenzo, pick up the Rito Lanterns, because you can pump mana into Grenzo and then use the Rito Lantern to pay 3 mana to put a card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library, and then pay 2 mana with Grenzo
Oh.
to put the bottom card of your library into your graveyard and then reanimate it. Pseudo combo and conspiracy, but he's just really cool because I like reanimating stuff. So
So this is interesting. Linksys in the chat room points out that Edric is banned in Commander in French Commander.
he is, he is now, isn't
He
he?
is now. Yeah, he used to be
He's-
one of the go-to.
He used to
Yeah.
be one of the go-to,
Obvious,
but
super
he's-
powerful
Anyway,
guys.
Sorry,
It's kind of interesting.
Apologize. I don't play French Commander, so.
Huh.
I think you mean Commander.
Commander.
I've heard some people kind of making noises about Marchesa, Marquesa, Marqueso. Anyways,
Did I get it?
the Black Rose. Yes,
Okay.
you sure did.
Thank you.
So she gives all your creatures dethrone, and she's in Grixis colors, so you're blue, black, and you're red. There are a few commanders out there that exist for this color combination, but she just kind of adds a different, maybe a little more aggressive approach to those particular colors, which is kind of neat. I also actually like, this is silly, but I really dig the idea of Phage the Untouchable too.
Is Phage with a P?
Yep, it sure is
Yep.
with a P.
Phage is another callback to Onslaught.
Old school stuff, yeah.
For those of you who read the story about her, she's Kamal's sister who pretty much got corrupted and turned into this walking rot farm, to where anything she
Really?
touches pretty much just instantly dies. And
She
the-
doesn't look like a rot farm.
So yeah,
Girl, you're
so
like a walking
she started
rot
out in
farm.
the pits, and she started out fighting everybody there. And how she would fight is so awesome. She would call soldiers to her side, and she'd rip off their arms with spears and swords on it, and she'd just chuck them at her enemies.
Wow.
It was so hardcore.
Sounds
The
hardcore.
flavor around Phage is really fun. Unfortunately, the rest of the story of that the Onslaught books wasn't all that great. It jumped around a bit, but
Lose a little bit lacking.
just for that little pit fight scene there, I thought it was really flavorful and really awesome.
I just really wanted a reanimator. Because you lose.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I want you to reanimate her too.
As like a backdoor get out of the game.
Like Summer's Pact, during my upkeep, scoop. Anyway, that's pretty sweet.
And actually, Muzio is a really again, as much as I don't advocate mono blue commander, because then that means you're probably playing wizards or like a broken artifacts deck. Muzio is
I'm
like
okay with that.
Muzio is like a very fair artifact theme, mono blue legendary creature that you can have be in charge of your stuff. So, you pay 3 and tap him and look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the highest converted mana cost among artifacts you control, and you may reveal an artifact card from among them and put it onto the battlefield. And so there's another mono blue guy that kind of lets you just tutor your library for any artifact you want, and this allows you to play a little bit more fairly with an artifact theme. And maybe not put quite as big a target on your head, and maybe slow the pace of the game down a little bit and have some fun.
And when playing EDH, I feel like that's the way you really should be playing, is more friendly, where it is a more friendly format, unless you're doing French or you're a jerk like that.
And actually, we had Links that's just mentioned that Muzio is great with Sidri. Sidri was one of the new Esper-colored commanders from the new commander decks.
Oh, yeah.
Again, anything hanging out with all of the artifacts is pretty sweet. So
Yep.
and Arkham Daxam is who I was referencing as the broken guy before. He's very good. So anyways, and there's just also
Arkham Daxam.
just a whole bunch of really cool big old
Arkham
creatures.
D-bag, more like it.
Hydra Omnivore is another card that I help out at a card shop, and people come in all the time looking for Hydra Omnivore, and he was only available in a commander deck before. So again, this is another one of those cool little creatures that they're sneaking out, and they're giving players more access
You should
to.
give him Infect.
That is so rude.
Yeah. So what Omnivore does, he's a 6 mana for an 8/8 that whenever he deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to each other opponent as well.
Wow.
So you're like, hit you for 8 because you have no blockers, and everybody else takes 8 too.
Nice.
That seems pretty powerful.
Yeah.
He's very powerful in the Hydra
I just closed the
themed
dock. I'll have to find it
EDH
again.
deck, or just anything with green in it. Honestly, he's super good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I open that in a booster pack, I would first pick that one.
Yeah, this one is definitely first pick
Yeah.
This
potential.
is just like, holy cow.
I didn't know they made him a mythic.
I think a really interesting creature for EDH and really any multiplayer game is Magus of the Mirror. He's a black creature that allows you to switch life totals with any other person at the table. So you're just like, no, dude, it's fine. Hit me. I don't care. You need to attack somebody to get a trigger off of your guy. That's fine. Attack me. I don't even care. And then whoever's being the biggest jerk at the table and gaining 2 life every single turn forever. I'm not looking at anybody here in the room.
Is
Then
this
you can just switch out life totals. No biggie.
is this a reprint? Or is this a
that
new
is
card?
that was from Time Spiral block.
Man.
Blades,
They-
you're
they-
just bringing it hard tonight, man, with the
I
the
am.
old school references. I had
Funny
no
thing,
idea.
actually, for those of you who listened to JudgeCast earlier this week, with these guys, if there are you can't gain life abilities, if you switch life totals with an opponent and you can't technically gain life to whatever effect, you are going to stay at the same life total, and your opponent is going to lower to whatever your life total
Wow.
is.
That's an interesting
That's assuming you are lower than what your opponent was.
right.
Huh.
So it's like an Erebos Magus of the Mirror combo.
Yep.
That's super cool.
Huh. So you just... Zoom.
And maybe you're playing Scapeshift in Modern. There is also a reprint of Sakura Tribelder, who's also an all-star in EDH as well.
He's just great. He actually, he's really good in this because he fetches you a land, which is cute. But he also, the way that
that's
this works
this
is
one.
green-black is
Love
very,
this
very
guy.
Morbid focused?
morbid
Yeah.
focused. So you're able to get some morbid triggers whenever you need them.
Yeah, Rich, weren't you kind of... No, it was Dante who was going off with Sakura
Dante
Tribelder,
was.
huh?
Yeah, he was just
So-
going nuts with him.
In the game that James and I played together, Dante had this enchantment that he hooked up to a guy, and I don't remember the name of the enchantment off the top of my head. but it was hooked onto a flyer, and every time your guy dealt
Unhollowed
damage,
pack.
unhollowed, is that what it is? Anyways,
No, maybe not.
it would return a creature card from the graveyard to the battlefield, or maybe just to
to
your hand.
play. In your
To
hand.
play?
No, it puts it in your hand.
In your hand, but Sacred Tribuilder is only 2 mana, so every turn he would just like maybe draw a land, but he would also Sacred Tribuilder and then sack it off and then hit you with the flyer and then replay Sacred Tribuilder, and he was just ramping like crazy.
He
over
had
and over again.
every
land out of his whole
land.
library, right?
and he kept finding them. That was the funniest thing. Is so he kept he had almost all of his
He was
land out there.
flooded so bad.
And he what would he draw off the top? Land almost
Constantly
every
top
time.
decking the
It was
land.
so funny.
He had 2 Terrastodons in his deck. I don't know who let him draft 2 Terrastodons, but it was the grossest thing
For
ever.
real, who does that?
Yeah.
Speaking of Terrastodon, what does Terrastodon do?
Let's look at that one.
So
That's a great-
Terrastodon is a big fatty fat green guy.
Yeah, I like this guy.
He costs 8 mana, right?
I believe
For a 9/9, when he enters the battlefield, blow up 3
non-creatures.
permanents, non-creature permanents, and then for each permanent blown up this way, its controller puts a 3/3 green elephant creature token into play. This is a reprint from World Wake. It's just great because they're like, oh hey, you have this enchantment that's giving anybody trouble, or you know, what I mean, you could blow up your 3 of your lands to get more bodies if you need more bodies, or blow up relevant
blow up your Oblivion Ring. You need a
enchantments or
3/3. I get my
whatever.
broken guy back or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yep.
Unhollowed Pack, is that what the card was we were looking for?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but the great thing about Terrastodon is he's a 9/9 by himself. So if you just blow up all your opponent's 3/3 things, like you can do it 1/1/1, and what can they do? Just chop block your Terrastodon for one thing. If you do it on one guy, then you're gonna trade, and you effectively got 3 non-creature spells for 8 mana. That's still not bad value.
Right, for sure.
And like worst case, if you blow up like all 3 of one guy's things, you attack them, like they'll just trade, which really
Right.
you just 3 for 1 them. So woo. But
Yeah, that's still good, but if you want to put yourself in that position, you probably won't. Like, they can still attack you, and you got this 9/9 blocker. Absolute worst case scenario.
yeah,
So, also whenever I see this guy, I can't help but going back and thinking of.
did you say Deadeye Navigator and punching you?
No. I mean, he's broken with Deadeye Navigator, but that's fine.
I love Deadeye Navigator.
I don't understand what the problem is. I'm giving everyone elephants.
You're playing Open
You guys
Winfrey
can
over
have
there with
infinite
elephants. You're like, you get an elephant. You get an elephant.
I'm Oprah with these
She's a
elephants. over here.
Terrasta Oprah.
Yeah, I hope you guys love peanuts because you guys are going to have a lot of them in house.
Oprah Dawn.
No, actually, it just reminds me of all the good old days that I spent as a young man growing up watching Power Rangers. Black
Huh.
Ranger would come up and he'd be like, Terrastodon! Anyways, every time I play him, pull out my cool.
So you said that Terrastodon on purpose, right? Knowing that it was actually Mastodon?
Yes.
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 Yes. I love the glare.
I'm not gonna
I
lie.
love the glare.
My parents did not let me watch Power Rangers. I'm not gonna lie. Like my
So wait, what exactly
That's a
morally was off
deprived
about?
life.
okay, my mom
Were they
and my
anti-putties?
dad.
I
did
think they were
not
racist
wanna-
against putties.
What's a putty?
So you didn't watch it, so you don't know. They're
Okay, no. So
the little minions.
my
for the bad
parents
guys.
did me and my brother learning how to do karate kicks because we already got
Well,
enough fights.
hey,
as it
if
was,
fair.
so.
I
After every like kung fu movie I used to watch with my brothers at young, like after once it gets to the credits, we used to get up and just wail on each other like no other, and it was the funnest times.
until someone got hurt.
Nope. And then it's
Now
just
that's why you
funny.
and why do you think you wear glasses?
Because
Because of the eye that got poked out. Remember? Just
yes,
kidding.
it's a glass eye, but no, that's fighting as kids. It was great. Our favorite game was Fight in the Dark, where just we just turn out the lights and we just start wailing on each other. We just start going off, and then somebody would get up and just turn on the light, and then we'd each have to stop and see who we were beating the heck out of.
Okay,
It
so
was so awesome. Funny thing, we actually took my brother to the hospital because he had stitches in the back of his head.
that's to add a little bit more onto like the weird
Ma'am,
innuendos
how did your
going
son
on.
get hurt? Oh, my kids were just off playing Fight in the Dark.
We didn't go outside much, but we fought in the dark like crazy.
Oh wow.
I had 8 other brothers and sisters, and they're step related anyway. But we used to do. Me and my brother Sean would play Rated X Brothers, where like we were young. Okay, it was like WWE style.
Oh,
where we
okay,
were
gotcha.
Just beat the living hell out of each other, and like did watch, and it was Anyway, just it was fun when we used to fight in the dark.
All right, so we're pretty off topic. But
So,
I just
anyways,
want,
do we have anything else to say about
Magister
EDH and
of-
Commander?
How did we get from there to from Terrastodon to Fight in the dark.
Just let it happen.
Okay.
He's actually really
Worth.
good at what we're talking about, for sure.
He is way worth talking about. So
And by he, we kind of mean she.
Yeah,
She.
totally.
So what's cool about this one is it might do a mass reanimate. And it also might just blow everything up.
Right.
Both of those seem
she's
really
like
cool.
Will of the Council, blow things up and reanimate everything. Great. And she was also the promo. So I mean, she seems like really good in Kalia, and bad in Kalia at the same time. So it's pretty sweet. What's next? I just lost all will.
So, no, actually, we have somebody in the
Those
chat
laughs.
who also used to play Fight in the Dark.
Yeah.
Dude,
He
I'm,
still does. He
Delta
still
says,
does.
Dude,
Oh,
I'm
he's
20.
20 and he's still
That
dead.
is so metal. I love
still
that.
get together with friends in someone's garage, wait until nighttime, cut the lights, and wail on each other blindly with boxing gloves.
Dude.
So, welcome to Fight Club.
I'd
Here's your.
So the funny thing is, Delta, you're part of the Casual Commanders, right? Because I wanted to say America, and then I realized you're from Canada. That doesn't apply. Cause usually
Oh, that's awesome.
But, dude, okay, so the difference between teenagers and 20-year-olds is just 20-year-olds are just better at it.
Wow, that.
And not getting caught.
Hey, teenager, that idea seems really stupid. Wow, 20-year-old, you knocked that one out of the park. Anyways. Oh, that's insane. That's awesome.
Okay, go to Cube.
Yeah, so Cube, if you guys have been listening for a little while, you will remember that Cube is one of my personal pet favorite formats to play. It is just so much fun. And like I've said in the past too, my Cube is pretty much all proxies. Actually, it is all proxies.
Let's face it.
And it's just really cool to be able to play with all the most powerful cards in Magic's history. And so what's neat is with these different conspiracies, you know, the conspiracy that lets you open with 2 different hands of 7, like that is pretty cool and limited. But when you're playing with like a deck that's as powerful as you get in Cube, being able to open with your theoretical perfect opening hand is like so powerful.
Especially a powered cube. A
Right.
cube with the power 9. That is...
Being able to just Clockwork Librarian into like just the crazy nuts awesome stuff.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
especially because there's certain cards in so many of the archetypes that like you'll open a pack and you'll say, man, I really want to draft Reanimator, and you'll have like Entomb and Animate Dead in the same pack. Being able to just, you know, rather than hoping that wheels, just pull both pieces that you need at the same time seems really, really fun. So I have not actually had a chance to play Cube plus conspiracy cards yet, but that is one of the next big tickets.
And I don't think
I
the
have heard it's
conspiracies in here.
pretty extreme.
pretty busted.
Yeah.
And there are actually some really, really great Cube cards that have been printed in this. One of the big ones is Sulfuric Vortex.
Sulfuric Vortex.
If you like playing the Fun Police in Cube, if you like being the mono red deck
Oh,
that kills people
that's me.
before they have a chance to get going, Sulfuric Vortex is probably one of the most important pieces of that archetype. It's just 3 mana. Each player is dealt 2 damage every turn.
Well, it's 2 red, 1 colorless enchantment. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, they lose 2 life, and players can't gain life.
Right. And if you're throwing lightning bolts at their face too,
Why
they're gonna
can't
die
I
first.
find it?
Everybody's on at least a 10-turn clock.
Right. And I usually draft Reanimator, which is just slightly slower than this. So I hate this card, but it's important to have in the Cube because if you just had time to infinite Dirtle, then you'd have some unfun game states as well.
Yep.
So
Right.
it's an important card to have. Terracodon is a sweet reanimation target. Mirari's Wake, if we want to just skip to that one, is fine too.
What is it?
Mirari's Wake.
M-I-R. Mirari. Wake.
So Mirari's Wake is for 3, a green and a white. Only your lands tap for double mana, and all creatures you control get +1/+1. So, green-white really lends itself to going wide, getting like a lot of small creatures, maybe tokens or whatever.
One
and just,
big one.
Yeah, just getting in there. And then you can just ramp into big things, like we said, like Terracodon and things. So
And this is another one of them that is worth a pretty penny, right?
yeah, we actually had, I think somebody opened a foil
I mean,
one of these. at
you're
our
talking
shop.
about
At my shop, they did.
Yeah,
too.
you're talking about $10 for this probably.
Yeah, I mean-
20 for the foil.
So like, what's cool is a lot of these cards they'll just pay for your draft. You know, as far as how
Absolutely.
much they are
There's so
worth.
much value in this, as of right now at least. The more it gets opened, it might lessen. So,
Well, and this is the Judge promo artwork, too. This isn't the original So it's seen. There's a Commander Arsenal, this one, Judge Promo, and then the original Odyssey. So there's a few
Different versions
of it. So wow, we did a lull.
No, it's fine. Anyways, so that's really the big thing is I think that one of the big misconceptions with Conspiracy is that you're going to draft it and then have these cards that are just sitting in a box somewhere that you can't do anything with. And I guess the big thing that we just wanted to highlight today is that if you draft Conspiracy, these cards will find homes, if not in your binder, in somebody else's binder or the deck that they're working on. But besides that, like, it is way worth the price of going and seeing a movie and getting a box of popcorn to hang out with some friends and draft Conspiracy.
Heck yeah.
I mean, for $15, it's really hard to have much more fun. Again, if you're with a group that's interested in having fun. So, anyways, that's kind of, I think, a lot of the stuff we wanted to say about Conspiracy. Did anybody else have any particularly busted stories from Conspiracy or things that they just wanted to talk about that highlight?
Well, somebody, I think we've probably already covered this, but Conspiracy, more than any other set that I can think of, well, with maybe the exception of last year's Modern Masters, is a set that is meant to be drafted rather than just, I mean, for heaven's sakes, don't open them up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I still have 8 prize packs sitting in my backpack from the Conspiracy because, it's all about prizes. But anyways, I've held on to my prize packs because I just don't want to give away the fun that I could have opening them up with a friend and drafting. So that is a big
Definitely.
part of that set.
All right, so are we going to move on?
I think so.
Let's move along.
Combat phase.
So what happened this week? Did anyone play any Magic?
We just got done with a round of Fight Club. Rich and I did.
That is the truth.
Blades got it 2-1.
Yep. I was playing the blue-white control build that Reed Duke played in the Star City Games Invitational a couple of weeks ago. And Rich was playing Jund Monsters. And for those of you who have not seen those matchups normally, those are fairly interactive games, and it can go either way. And I actually highly enjoyed it.
Yeah, we had some good games. I sideboarded completely wrong because I'm dumb. But those were really, really close, fun games. I just think that blue-white is much more powerful than blue-white X in the fact that the consistency, the amount of card draw you have, the amount of life gain you have, it just seems to me a little bit better than like blue-white
Right
red
now,
or
where the
blue-white black.
format is going, I think I mostly agree with you.
Like, I mean, I understand like Esper's got different, better matchups, I guess. Like the blue-white control list against like another control list kind of is terrible, right? Like, I mean, granted, like you have your
in Control, you really want to
you
have
have your
access to Thoughtseize and stuff.
planar cleansings that help you kind of get through like their detention spheres and stuff like that. But I mean, really, you seem kind of a little underhanded against the control mirror.
Normally, well,
but you're also drawing out way
they
more.
have that
than
a little
they
bit. Different ones are better for different metagames. Like if your metagame is seeing no mono red aggro or aggressive hate, bank control is really good because then it plays role as like a control or a mid-range game as well, and that's really good there. I feel like the America control builds are slightly better against the aggressive metagames just because, well, the shocklands are horrible in those ones, for one, but you also get more burn spells to help fend off their lower creature count.
Yeah, having to have a pseudo Wrath effect at 3 mana seems very, very powerful in a control deck. Being able to play Anger of the Gods.
Which, funny
and
thing, a
wipe the
lot of them
board is
don't
really
play
good.
the Anger of the Gods either.
I feel like that's a miss, at least in the sideboard,
Yeah, it's got more versatility in that area. It's still a horrible matchup, but it doesn't get nearly as bad. It's like not unwinnable like it is against Bant. The Esper control builds, those are like just moderately paced. They have the better play against the controlled builds, I guess, or I believe, because they've got the hand removal spells, the Duresses, the Thoughtseize.
And they have the Hero's Downfalls and stuff.
The Hero's Downfalls are fairly good as well.
In the rock, paper, scissors matchup of a control, I feel like Esper does a little bit better than most.
As a pure control deck.
Correct.
But where blue-white just has a better matchup against the rest of the field. Planar Cleansing is pretty good right now because
especially Quicken. Gosh.
there's so many. Yeah,
I
with
got
Quicken,
blown out so many times because like Quicken.
there was like 2 times with Quicken. Yep. That was surprising to me on how often I was able to trigger it regularly. The list is running 3, and I felt like that was pretty good.
Are you running divinations that list too? Sorry, I was a little bit late today, guys. So
Yeah.
so Quicken divinations, I
Reduke's
think
list
too.
normally plays 4 divination. I dropped it down to 3 for a singleton aetheling just to try and slim down the matches just a little bit more.
Wait, was Jace literally their WinCon?
Yeah,
No,
him and Mutavaults.
So what do you?
No. The
Uh,
WinCon really is just the elixir.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Like the elixir
They just
to
dry you
mill them
out.
out.
Yep.
What the?
Yep.
That's one
Front
way to do it.
door.
The Flula.
Jace is another WinCon, supposedly. I
Yeah.
think that's
I don't understand you control players. It's like let's play this game of Magic for hours.
yeah. That's it's really important to play fast. You can't linger on your plays with it. And when I was playing it on stream, I should have been playing faster.
We actually made it through like 57, 60 minutes, something like that. We didn't make it not.
It wasn't too bad.
It
Yeah.
wasn't too bad, but it was
quick.
bad. Like
Yep.
if it was in a tournament, we would be drawing. If not, like I would have no time to prep for the next game and relax.
But
Anything else?
So I'm gonna give a big shout out to my friend Matlock. He kind of pointed my gaze at
serving in
the.
Korea.
Yeah, he's military over in Korea right now. But he pointed my gaze at Ben Stark's article he did on the Battle Box, which also is a reference to one of the guys from Wizards of the Coast did an article, and they called the format Danger Room. So the idea with this is that you're playing with it's like Cube for 2 people almost. So you're playing all these spells together, and then each person only has 10 lands. 5 of them are basics, 5 of them are guild gates. And then the guild gates are set up such that you can produce 3 of any mana color. So, like, if you play with 5 basic lands and then 5 of the allied colored guild gates, you can get like 2 black or 3 black, 3 blue. You know, the whole deal. And then the way that the deck is structured, or the collection of cards is structured, they have stuff like Leatherback Bailoff, who is green for a 5/4.
4-5.
4/5. Sorry. And so, in order to play him on time, you have to go Guild Gate, Forest. Is that good enough, fast enough, etc.? And so it really just asks, like, the power level for everything is very flat. And it just really asks that, like, in the absence of Mana Flood or Mana Screw, because you actually play with your lands in a separate pile and you get to pick whichever land you want. So in the absence of Flood or Screw, you're always drawing gas. You're playing with the same power level cards because you're essentially sharing a deck. You split it into 2 so you can do, like, scrying effects and things like that. But, like, who can actually just play better Magic? And there's a bunch of pros who've been saying that it's, like, the purest, most interesting, engaging form of Magic they played in a long time. So I was really interested in that, and I used the list that Ben Stark had as kind of a foundation, and then just grabbed a bunch of crap that I already owned, and it's almost like a pauper-ish cube. I mean, I have a bunch of rares in there, but
we took Forge Stoker
Yeah.
Dragon out because it was too good.
it was Forge Stoker Dragon, who you guys have probably never even heard of, because he's just forgettable.
We did a Born of the Gods review on him.
Oh wait, but he's but he's forgettable, right?
Right, yeah.
He's fairly
The
forgettable.
problem with him is that he can ping guys for 1 damage and make them not block. And there's like tokens and a bunch of guys with only 1 toughness.
Or
And
just machine gun on one
he
guy.
just kept like 3-for-1ing me when Rich cast him, and it made me cry. I thought I had the game locked down, and then he cast Forge Stoker Dragon. It was all over. So the idea is you take out anything that just seems intrinsically extremely broken. And we actually started playing last night at around 10, and I didn't leave the restaurant until about 5.
Oh, yeah, when
wow.
we first started playing.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Hipster dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys may not have heard of this dragon,
I believe in the old gods. You probably haven't heard of them.
but Forge Stroker Dragon is actually broken. He's too good. So,
That's
Yeah.
why I only play Moxen, because nobody knows about them. They're all underground.
Moxon?
Buried Ruins?
Ah.
Anyways, so that was my experiences. I did practice a little bit more for the Living End matchup tonight, and then I mostly just jammed a bunch of games of this whole battle box thing. And
I understand you
had
guys
fun.
didn't go to sleep until like 5 this morning.
5 this
I didn't
morning.
get home till like 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Can't
Rich
believe that. You guys are
and Rich was
insane.
kind of a hater initially.
I was
looking at it.
hating the battle box. I was like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Why would you ever want to do that?
I was the same way.
I had so much fun though.
I was the same way because I went down to the game store yesterday to grab a few singles for our fight club, and Damon was over there working, and I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, what's up with this battle box thing that you're talking about? And then he goes through it with me, and he hands it to me, and he's like, here, we need to make some cuts. We make some cuts, and by the end of them, I'm like, I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, unfortunately, Blades wasn't able to get out with us last night, but don't worry, Blades, we will be playing
We'll
the
be
battle
playing,
box
for
soon
sure.
enough.
We'll get it in.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let us know if you guys are interested in BattleBox. I really think that I want to maybe that we may cover some of that and maybe cube construction or something next week before we head into our big review show.
You
Yeah.
should.
Maybe I will
just-
write.
You
some-
could post it on the
some
show
stuff.
notes. There.
Yeah.
Anyways, and also I'll try to get the list that I currently have together and get that posted up like on our Facebook and stuff, and we'll link it on our Twitter later. Because it's a lot of fun, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. Like all the cards that are kind of the junk rares that you have, like they have a place.
It's close to a cheap, low player count cube.
So, do I have time to go over what I did this week, or are we short on time?
You could if you go for it.
Okay. So last
How
night-
long is it going to take?
Not very
Just
long.
kidding.
So we did the battle box. It was sweet. I can't remember if I won or lost because that's how late in the morning it was, or early in the morning it was.
You won.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 'cause the
I had
Four-Stroker
you
Dragon
dead to
got
rights,
there,
and then you're
yeah.
like, oh, Four-Stroker Dragon,
And
ping your whole
then,
team.
then we played some Living End versus Malire Pod. Oh my gosh. So that matchup's interesting because Leyline of the Void says, screw you, Rich. I pay 3 mana and your team dies for goodsies. And it was just terrible. I ended up fighting through it. The funny thing is I got the Consolidated Pride Mage out to finally blow up the Leyline so I could kind of start comboing off, right? And Dan was like, hard cast my second Leyline. And I'm like, dang it.
Oh.
So then, like, it was funny, like,
The
how it went. It was
daggers.
like, I went turn 1 birds, turn 2 pod. He's like, and the thing is, his turn 2 was a ingot chewer, like, 'cause I was on the draw, he was on the play. So he went land, whatever, cycle, blah, 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 go. I went birds. And then Damon went, okay, my turn, cycle, and then ingot chewer blows up nothing, goes in the bin. I'm like, okay, cool, he wastes his ingot chewer. I'm like, turn 2 for me, birthing pod. He's like, okay, turn 3 for him, ingot chewer, blow up your birthing pod. And then I'm like, dang it, but the good thing I have 2 more in my hand because I kept top decking them. So I'm like, all right, my turn 3, play another birthing pod, right? And by that point, I was shocking in, like, shock lands, fetch lands. I was down to, like, I think
7 life. I remember
7
looking
life
up and
by
you were
turn
suddenly at 7
3.
life.
Yeah, and like I just barely grinded out, Like he just kept like wiping my board. It was
I
a lot
remember
of
looking
fun.
at I remember looking across the table and being like, hey, it's like turn 4, Rich is at 7 life, and I'm at 19. I definitely win this game, and then I lost because Rich is like a super magical flavor of magician. I don't.
Eidolon of Rhetoric.
Yeah,
So screw your
that's
couch.
a real card.
Against that. Because Eidolon Rhetoric says that only each player can only cast 1 spell per turn. So when you cast your Cascades thing, there's your 1 spell per turn. And when it flips into the Living End, they cannot cast the Living End, and they can't let it resolve. So it just shuts down his Living End, and that's how
Until
I was able
like
to
Beast
beat it
Within
out.
it or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Which never happened. But anyway, that's basically what I did this week.
And what I did, I drafted Hex.
How was
That's
it?
awesome.
I
It
haven't
was
heard
good.
anything.
No, it was actually fun. It's the first time
know-
I've drafted, so I did terrible.
Isn't that the game Jeremy plays too?
That's the one that
It's
was
very
a
like Magic.
it was a Kickstarter, very much like Magic.
He's getting sued right now. Just kidding.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know what's happening with that, but heck, I decided to try drafting and see how it went.
I
It
know,
was
like Kibler. No, Kibler Soulforge. That's
yeah,
Soulforge.
he's,
Yeah,
he's
that's
part owner
Soulforge.
of Soulforge. So
fun. Yeah,
he's-
this is what's the company that? Oh man,
it's not Cryptozoic.
It's not
is it?
It is
Okay,
Cryptozoic.
Cryptozoic.
Yes, it's Cryptozoic, and they raised tons of money on Kickstarter. So I hopefully they can.
Well, it's because World of Warcraft, the trading card game,
Right.
died, so they needed something new.
Anyway, it's pretty awesome. I also played some Duels of the Planeswalkers, 2012.
Sweet.
You know, kind of
2012.
interesting.
Oh, Throwback.
I'm
Do you
going
guys
old
rem-
school.
Do you guys remember the name Anssi Alkio, who played Twin 2 Pro Tours ago?
It rings a bell, yeah.
Anyways, apparently he was really big in the pro circuit for the World of Warcraft game. There's like a whole group of the old World of Warcraft pros or semi-pros that have transitioned into Magic, and they're like trying to figure out if this is a thing that they want to do or not. So,
Really?
but
There
he
was,
I mean, he was able to transition right out of that game and qualify for Pro Tour, which is kind of
Wow.
crazy.
Well, I mean, if you have the money and the patience and the time.
Hey, that's all it takes. Time,
It's-
money,
Yeah.
and yeah.
and
Remember
there were
backdoor budget episode about
there
having
were
3 different
similarities
costs.
to the games. There was a few defining factors that I felt was not good enough for me to devote my time into World of Warcraft train game. One
wasted
of them
enough
was
time
armor.
Playing MMO.
Like I just couldn't get on board with that. But
Armor.
like they would have it to where each one of your guys who would attack, it's like so much of that would be prevented.
Oh.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Hearthstone's fun, though. I liked Hearthstone a
Yeah,
lot.
Hearthstone's fun. I like.
But we need to get ready for Fight Club.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
we
think-
do.
We've been having a lot of podcasts, so I'm
Let's-
energized and
Let's
energized.
move
Yes.
along.
Way to bunny
Second
in.
main phase.
Okay, so in our second main phase, this is where we self-promote. No, this is where we talk about feedback. I don't recall any email feedback we had this
We
week.
did get a 5-star review, though, didn't we?
We do have a 5-star review on iTunes. Let me pull that up right here. And we appreciate all the 5-star reviews. It helps the word get out about us. This is from Matthew the Grandiose.
Oh yeah.
5 stars. I was only I was only recently introduced to Magic by a close friend of mine. I found this show through other shows that I listened to on the Major Spoilers podcast network. Shout out to them. Yep.
Sweet.
And it is a great resource. This show has allowed me to learn about the game and the culture and jargon which surround it with great haste and without annoying my friends with endless stream of stupid questions. Yes. If you have stupid questions, come to us, please. That would be just fine. I am very grateful for the service which this podcast provides for its listeners. All right. Thank you, Matthew, and thanks for that. I mean, I just can't say enough how grateful we are for 5-star reviews.
Yeah, all these reviews, when people search, MTG podcasts on iTunes, we feel like we have a fantastic community. All you guys who are on the Twitch stream right now are part of it. You guys who are listening on the podcast are part of it. And we're just excited to be doing life and doing, kind of our Magic world alongside you guys. And I think that you guys are great people, and we'd like to include more people into this
We
community.
want to
that
find
we're
other
building.
cool
So,
people to interact with. Yeah.
Anyways, it just really helps us spread the word and,
Yeah.
and helps keep doing this. So
The other thing, what other things help? Subscribing on
Twitch,
Let's follow.
that's follow on Twitch.
follow on Twitch. Sorry.
Yeah. Subscribe on YouTube. Wow, that was like a jinx. You owe me
Yeah.
a soda. And just those things really help us out. So
We're active on
really
Twitter.
appreciate-
Come give us a shout out there. We have
I
all,
want
of course, all of our contact information available at.
I want somebody to in the chat room to pick a number between 1 and 24.
Ooh.
First one up on the screen. Just pick a number. All right. Waiting. I know it's going to take a second.
There's a lag.
I know.
30 seconds later. 1, 2. It's so weird being on the live side of this. Like, I'm not gonna lie, compared to
8.
being on the
Okay,
other
let's
side.
see.
Ah.
It is.
Let's see who's number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Big Daddy Cole 23, best podcast. This guy is the winner of either a playmat.
It's gonna be the playmat. Let's give away the playmat.
No, I was going to say if he wants the disc,
That he can have it.
he can have the disc. So he gets his first choice. And I'm going to take the second one. It's 13. Let's go. Let's see who's 13.
And he gets second option,
Yeah.
or she.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The Dice Lord gets the second choice. So if those you got that, obviously it's recorded, so we have
Right.
a record of it. One of you gets a playmat, and the other one gets that CD. Grab that CD back there. I just want to pimp that one more time. Yep, this is the one. This is the Andrew Allen Trio. It's a smooth jazz. This is right on. So
So, anyways, we picked these names from our 5-star reviews on iTunes.
And-
We look forward to increasing our ability to give away prizes. We're actually in the middle of kind of negotiating a partnership with a shop in the area
Where
right
we
now.
have more prizes
So
to
we're
give
hoping
away.
to especially for the Twitch stream, it seems like the very easiest thing for us to just be in the middle of the show as we move from phase to phase, just be like,
Totally
who wants a
agree.
foil rare? Ba-doo! And then we'll send
Right.
it out to you through the magic of the internet.
That is going to happen. We'll be able to go in the chat room and just pick somebody at random, and that's going to be happening very soon. So those are our winners for today. We also have the ongoing contest. Remember that ongoing contest?
Right, 5-star reviews at the end of the year in December. Now, I understand it's a little ways away, but we have a fantastic friend, level 3 Judge Jeremy. He's also Utah coordinator here. Said that we could allow one of our very lucky 5-star reviewers to pick from his massive collection of playmats that he's amassed over the years, and he can
different
have a
tournaments.
GP playmat from some random GP because he travels all over the country, and he's actually traveled internationally.
He said that person gets their pick.
So, their pick of whatever kind of cool random.
So
awesome
he
playmat
has
he
a lot,
has.
so. Give us a 5-star review, and you might be one. If any of the 5-star reviews that we get between now and the end of the year are going into that contest.
Yes, magical interwebs magic.
So, and I think I'm going to leave this poll up for one more week because I don't feel like I've gotten enough feedback on it. I'm sorry, guys. This is a very good poll. Go to the MTGYou podcast website, mtgyu.com, and vote. And the question is, who are you? Who are you? Who? Yeah, that's right. Are you?
Did I just miss something?
We all planned it. I don't know where you
I
were for
don't
that
remember
meeting.
this.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
I missed
That was-
that meeting.
No, that's how good we are. Are you Timmy, Johnny, Spike, Melvin, Vorthos, or Jobin? I want to find out. So far, we have 9 votes, and that's not enough. I know that we can get at least 20 on this. I want to find out. So go to the website and vote, please. And I think that just about wraps up the second main phase, unless you guys have anything else to say.
I'll just say we actually had an Urban Dictionary Jobin for James. That was pretty
I
funny.
asked what exactly does Jobin mean, and now I know.
Because we didn't know if it was
You've Jobins.
completely PG or not. But
No, it's just from that movie.
I know,
It is.
I
Yeah,
knew,
yeah.
but
Yeah, it
I
was
love it.
awesome. I'm glad I
Slap at the
know now.
base.
Slap at that bass, man. A slap at that
I'll see you later, Jobin. What?
What? What did you just call me? it was. No. All right. So on our way out, here we go.
End step.
If you want to contact us, you can send email to mtgupodcast@gmail.com. Interact with us on Facebook by going to facebook.com/mtgu. Follow us on Twitter @the_MTGU. Catch us live on Thursday nights on twitch.tv/MTGU and on Stitcher. So for the MTGU podcast,
I'm Damon.
I'm Blades.
And I'm Rich.
and I'm James. Now we pass the turn to you.
And I'm Rich. I'm like the special little brother that everybody just,
I have never denied it.
Hey, stick around, guys, and hopefully What do you think our turnaround time looks like?
No more than 15 minutes.
We're hoping to get it down to maybe 10. I don't know.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for sticking through. Like we had up to 30 plus people.
Yeah, we had a
that are
good
crazy.
turnout
Which-
today. That was
that
very
rarely
good.
So-
happens.
And we'll be back with some modern in no time.
Affinity versus Living End.
Yep.
Very excited to bring that to you. And again, also, please stick around if there's any other matchups you're interested in seeing, whether it's standard, modern. Heck, if we had enough people ask for Legacy, we'll put it together.
I am voting for Legacy because I think it'd be fun.
So if there's any matchups you guys would like to see on stream, we will be here every Thursday bringing you the very best we know how to bring.
And just as for those of you who are going to stick around and watch, we would love some feedback. I know we got some feedback earlier from when me and Blades were playing, and it actually helps us out a lot of knowing what works and what doesn't work. I mean, really, because we can see it one way, what we think works, but it helps to get your guys' feedback even on that too. So.
Yep, absolutely. Also, I feel like we're kind of trying to push forward in a place that's not quite as well known. You know, a lot of people stream on Magic the Gathering Online.
We're getting asked about EDH.
Well, if enough people ask for EDH, we
Yeah.
would say go watch Commanders.
We should have a second
Casual
poll.
Commanders.
Yeah, hey guys, check out Twitch TV /Casual Commanders. These
Yes,
guys are really cool.
every
They stream on Monday. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah. Linksys and Casual Commanders in the chat. You
Feel
guys-
free to drop your guys' link in the chat room, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually really like their setup. The way they got
Yeah.
it, so you can see everything and stuff is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I kind of want to play EDH on here. It'd be fun. But here's the problem though. Other than James, who I don't even know if he owns an EDH deck or not.
He does. He
Oh
has
yeah,
one.
yeah, because we opened it that one day.
I have.
We
guys,
forced him to.
I have 4 EDH decks.
Are they opened?
Yes, I just don't.
James, I'm sorry. You know,
Have I played them? No.
There we go. But I know Blaze is like turbo combo. I have turbo combo. You have turbo combo.
I tore apart
Did you?
turbo combo.
Oh, because you're playing it now in modern, right? Like most of the cards go to your modern deck.
For one, for two, you get all those scuzzy looks, and that's not the guy I want to be. I want to be the
Really?
friendly guy.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to Commander, that's a friendly format.
So,
I don't want to.
We should just build you group hug. I just want to love you. I just want to love you.
I got a Deadeye Navigator group hug for one person.
All right, we're gonna
Yeah,
take this stream
that's-
off
yeah.
the air. We'll be back in say 10 minutes.
I was just gonna say our EDH would end in like 6 turns.
Love you guys.
If us 3 were playing, we're just like combo win, combo win.
Combo one.